It looks beautiful. We are back, guys. Kenilworth Road, probably the perfect place to open up the League One season against the promoted side in the shape of AFC Wimbledon. All of these Hatters fans on their feet, ready and waiting for kickoff. The two captains in the centre circle. A few final words from the officials before this one gets underway. And by the way, it looks like it's going to get underway on time, which has been rare for the past couple of seasons in the EFL. It's unbelievable, team.
They've been out in 2 hours. They've been wanting to go for ages.
And so the marathon EFL season starts here. We are back doing what we love most, and that is following EFL football right here on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. One of our most treasured grounds, Kenilworth Road, provides the backdrop to the curtain raiser. The Hatters have witnessed back-to-back relegations from the Premier League down to League One, but they're favourites for the title this time around. The opening day fixture sees them welcome the favourites for relegation in last season's League Two playoff winners, AFC Wimbledon. It is live on Talksport 2 in the company of former Crystal Palace and Ipswich winger Darren Ambrose and our very own Nigel Adderley.
Thank you, Hugh. Good evening once again. It is our biggest ever season on the Talksport network. Over 500 games coming up. It will culminate in the World Cup final in New Jersey. But we start at Kenilworth Road on the home of the EFL, Talksport 2. And it's Wimbledon wearing all blue with yellow trim, defending the goal away to our right, who get the match underway. Luton in their orange shirts with black sleeves and black shorts. And right underneath us in the right back position, Rule Walters heads the ball away on this near side. It took a deflection off a Wimbledon player, and it will be a Luton Town throw-in on this near side, which Chris Makoso will take, a player who came back into the team towards the end of last season, and he's retained the faith of Matt Bloomfield as Wimbledon play an early ball forward from Smith, and a first touch for Josh Keeley, the goalkeeper signed from Spurs, hammers it long downfield all the way towards those Wimbledon fans at the other end of the stadium, and it will be a goal kick for the Dons. And Johnny Jackson stood beneath us, arms folded on the edge of the technical area. They won their last 4 games of the season 1-0. I'm sure they will take 1-0 here tonight.
Oh, they certainly will. But I must say, Nigel, that kick by Josh Keeley there, unbelievable. He kicked it just on the edge of his box, and it landed beyond their box and went out for a goal kick to AFC Wimbledon. If you're Naki Wells, if you're Melenik Ali, Jordan Clark, you've got to look for that. It's when he gets the ball, that could be a through ball.
Walsh plays it forward now for Wimbledon, but it's quickly brought under control on this near side by Ogundere. His long ball forward seeking out Kelly, but Makoso will try and bring the ball under control, and the referee has given a goal kick here, Thomas Parsons, and we had a very good view of that he got it wrong.
Yeah, he did get it wrong, Thomas Parsons. Kelly kicked it off of Chris Makoso, it went off for a corner. Straight away he pointed, I don't know how, I think he had a better view than us than that, and he's given a goal kick. But we're already seeing now this goal kick. Keeley's got the ball, he's handed it to his defender, put it down, and he's playing it, exactly what we said.
Right down the centre, flicked on by Wells, but all the way through towards Nathan Bishop. 2 goalkeepers making their debut tonight. Bishop signed from Sunderland, although he was in the lower leagues at Cambridge last season on loan. And of course Josh Keeley was in League One with Orient, famously scored an FA Cup equaliser against Oldham, and was part of a very good Orient team last season, which of course lost out to Charlton in the playoff final. As Wimbledon have a free kick, they take it quickly on the far side. Asienwe will drive in the cross, and this time they do get the first corner kick of the game, which is conceded by Nigel Longvike, although in the end the ball has gone behind for a goal kick.
And to be honest, Nigel, they got this one correct. Actually, it was exactly the same, but the opposite. It came off he tried to cross it in the wide plane. It came off him. The defender hit him and went off for a goal kick. But again, we're seeing this. Anderson is staying in the box with Josh Keeley. It's like they're going to take the goal kick themselves. They put it straight down normally. Josh Keeley's got the ball. We mentioned how far he can kick the ball. The 4 forward players are real up high, up the pitch. I can see this being a real tactic.
3 minutes played here on Talksport 2, Luton Town 0, AFC Wimbledon 0. The first game of the EFL season, live and exclusive from Kenilworth Road, as it's played long by Anderson, down the centre, flicked in field by Clark, gathered by Wells on the edge of the penalty area, wide to Walters with an early cross into the penalty area, headed away by Ogundure at the far post, then controlled by Clark. His ball in takes a deflection, cleared away as far as Walsh. Now Walters again down the right, drifting a high ball towards the far post. Good hands by Bishop to claim that under pressure, and Wimbledon will breathe again.
Great play, Luton there, going forward. Once again, I'm going to mention Josh Keeley. He's causing all sorts with his kicks, but this time he dummied the kick, allowed Anderson to play it forward. They got down the right. Walters is getting forward really well, put a great ball into the box, and it was taken really well by Bishop in the Wimbledon goal.
Well, Clark seems to have started on the right of the Luton attack with Ali towards the left, and they've got a free kick now. A challenge on George Saville, one of a number of players who has made the step down from the Championship to join Luton Town this season. Of course, the former Millwall man, and he is over this free kick now, along with Liam Walsh, midway inside the Wimbledon half. And grey skies here at Kenilworth Road. It's one of those summer's evenings, a bit humid, although you wouldn't be too surprised if it's bucketing down with rain at some stage, as Saville prepares for this free kick here, and Luton have seen Wimbledon draw every player behind this ball. Walsh in the end flights it high towards the far post, headed away by Asiimwe, but then played back in by Longvike towards the far post. Kelly will nod the ball away, but only into the path of Saville. And Saville going back towards Walsh again, and those two are dominating midfield in the early stages, but now Stevens does well to close down the ball forward from Walters, but Keeley coming outside his penalty area, clears it long downfield, and it turns out to be a good pass for Naki Wells on this near side. Now Walsh infield again towards Naismith, who is back at Luton after his spell with Bristol City. Ali wide towards the far side again, and Longvike. And Ali, who was signed from League One, had a very good spell with Exeter at the start of last season before briefly stepping up to the Championship with Luton, as they look to come forward again with nearly 6 minutes played here, 0-0. But it's cleared away by Smith. A long early ball forward again, and the back pass from Naismith. A bit of a teaser for Keeley, but he deals with it well, gathering the ball initially on his thigh and then controlling. But both teams looking to be fairly direct in the early stages.
Yeah, a little bit more in terms of the quality coming from Luton going forward. It's been a good start from Luton, exactly what they'd have wanted. Every time AFC Wimbledon get the ball, they try that long one into the channels. It's not quite working just yet, but that's a danger still.
Now Anderson, who is the only player in the Luton starting lineup who began their opening game in the Premier League 2 years ago. A 4-1 loss at Brighton. He heads the ball away under pressure from Matty Stevens on this near side. Massive responsibility on his shoulders this season. The leading scorer with 16 goals in the previous campaign, but many strikers can find it a big step up, and Antoine Hackford and Danilo Orsi both on the bench after signing this week, as Johnson for Wimbledon plays it back on this near side. Lewis plays it down the line, and you were looking for the flick on there to head the ball inside. Yeah,
it's a tactic that I've seen them play in this opening 7 minutes of this match. It's getting the ball to the fullbacks, trying to play it into the channel, Kelly chasing it, and it's just not quite working just yet. This one it did, it come right in front of us. I thought we could have got a touch of the ball then.
We are stood on the gantry slung beneath the roof of the Bobbers stand here at Kenilworth Road, which was built for the arrival in the Premier League. Of course, it was fairly short-lived, as was the return to the Championship, but a vibrant atmosphere inside this stadium before kick-off time, helped by the signing of Jerry Yates, which was announced 15 minutes before the game has got underway. Another Championship player who has made the move to Luton Town, and they are really, relatively speaking, to a number of clubs in League One, splashing the cash in the opening weeks of this campaign, as Luton have to do some defending here, but a ball forward from AFC Wimbledon was wayward. And here is Anderson now on the edge of the Luton penalty area, gets it back from Saville. And we've spoken about the goal scorers, but George Saville could be a really important signing this season, although it's been given away briefly by Luton. Quickly played forward, looking for Seddon on this near side, but Makoso will play it back towards Keeley.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Full of experience, George Saville could be a real key signing. It's exactly what you need when you come into this division.
Kelly does well to win it back again for Wimbledon on this near side. Plays the ball off Makoso and then off Kelly, and it will be a goal kick for Luton Town. We played nearly 9 minutes here on Talksport 2. Goalless at Kenilworth Road, the opening game of the EFL season. And we have so many big matches in the lower divisions coming up over the next couple of days. Cardiff against Peterborough, live on Talksport 2 tomorrow at 12:30 with Faker Ruthers, Ian Danta and Chris Awelamo. And then Bradford against Wickham at 3. Bradford's return to League One with Adam Bridge and Adrian Clark. And then a local derby to start the season on Sunday, noon kickoff for Cameron Pope and Mickey Gray. He'll be watching Stockport County against Bolton Wanderers, two of the fancied teams in League One this season, as Wimbledon try and come forward now with Hippolyte on the far side. And he's got plenty of support, but it's infield again to Alistair Smith, and Seddon will now be found by Johnson on this near side, the left, just beneath us. The early cross into the area, looking for Stevens. It's headed away by Anderson, but now Seddon will gather again now. And a good ball to find Kelly inside the area. Anderson will try and shepherd it back towards the goalkeeper, and in the end a free kick has been given to Luton. Kelly was outnumbered there as he looked to race into the area. There looked to be confusion, I thought, between Keeley, the goalkeeper, and Anderson, the defender, but in the end a free kick's been given.
Yeah, there definitely was confusion. I think it's been given for a push on Anderson as Kelly was running forward, because there weren't much in terms of the ball, but the push behind him, there was hardly anything. But you just see Matty Bloomfield run out his technical area and have a little bit of a word with his team.
And it's back with Keeley again here, defending the Kenilworth Road end away to our left-hand side. 10 minutes played, 0-0. Another long ball forward from him. 2 bounces straight into the arms of Nathan Bishop at the other end. And Wimbledon fans of an older vintage behind that goal will think it's the crazy gang once again.
It's incredible, the kick and from Josh Keeley. And they are playing on it 100%. I've seen Millennium Ali up front. As soon as he gets the ball, he tries to make a run. He's calming him down at the moment. But watch this space. When he gets the ball, he can whack it downfield, Nigel. We've seen it already.
Of course, both these teams have been in non-league. AFC Wimbledon began their rise from the depths after reforming following the original club's move to Milton Keynes. And Wimbledon beat Luton on penalties in a playoff to get back into the Football League, or in Wimbledon's case, get into the Football League for the first time 14 years ago. They've not met since 2019, a 2-2 draw here, and Steve Seddon, who is making his 3rd debut for AFC Wimbledon here tonight on their left-hand side, scored an equaliser in the final moments as Kelly again looks to try and get forward, but it's back again to Stevens. Hippolyte, who scored that Wembley winner against Walsall, does well to win it back, and Wimbledon are beginning to settle down here. Ryan Johnson stepping out of the back 3. White to Seddon on this near side. It's clipped forward looking for Hippolyte. Almost breaks for Kelly as Makoso headed the ball into his path, but it will rebound forward towards Josh Keeley once again, the Luton goalkeeper. And big atmosphere before the game, but maybe that's building some pressure up on Luton.
Yeah, of course, and it's been fairly even. It was a good quality. It's a good start for Luton in terms of quality. But AFC Wimbledon, they've come back into the game, and it seems they're the team on the ascendancy at the moment. Again, Matt Bloomfield out of his technical area. He's talking to Josh Keeley. Maybe he's wanting more of the same from him. But I think it's been a fairly even start, and the atmosphere's died down a little bit as we would have expected.
Well, AFC Wimbledon fans occupy around 2/3 of the stand behind the goal away to our right as Ali comes forward down the Luton left, but just runs it out of play there under pressure from Underdere, and it will be a throw-in for AFC Wimbledon. They, of course, were promoted. They'll hope for that bounce, and Luton Town just hoping they can bottom out after back-to-back relegations. They've had 5 changes of division in the last 8 seasons. Of course, the ecstasy of arriving in the Premier League, and that quickly dissipated, and here they are in League One for the first time since 2019 as it's headed forward by Joe Lewis, one of 3 central defenders for Wimbledon. straight out of play on the far side, and Cal Naismith, who was a very popular player here during his first spell, of course back now on a permanent basis from Bristol City. And the free kick's now being given for a foul on Nahki Wells by Hippolyte, midway inside the Wimbledon half. Saville quickly forward to Ali, and laid back to Anderson on the halfway line. A number of big-name players from Luton's point of view not involved here tonight. Elijah Adebayo, Marvellous Nakamba and Taffy Chong, so we'll wait and see what happens between now and the end of the transfer window, as Josh Kelly has been caught on this near side, and there'll be at least a word for Reuel Walters from Thomas Parsons.
Yeah, that's all it should be, just a word. It's just a coming together. But yeah, Mark McGuinness on the bench as well. We formed a great partnership at the back end of last season with Christ Mokosso. Every time I watched them play at the end, they looked solid. And they won 3 out of the last 4 games, and it was down to them not conceding. Mark McGuinness, I believe, picked up a slight illness, so he's on the bench.
Yeah, they finished 6 wins, 3 draws and 3 defeats.
It's incredible, that, Nigel. And they went down sickening at the end, it must have been.
Well, they got 3 points in the previous 12 games, which is why they went down, as Wimbledon get a free kick here. In fact, a corner kick's been given, I should say. Seddon challenging Walters in the air, and the ball just skimming off the head of the Luton defender, and this time, to much ironic cheering from the Wimbledon fans at the other end of the ground, they do get their first corner.
Yeah, we needed the atmosphere to be up a bit, because it was so quiet in this area. You heard the skim on his head, and that's the reason they gave it, because it didn't look like there was no deflection, no movement. You just heard the noise of it skim off his head.
And Jake Reeves, the AFC Wimbledon captain, will take this corner. Kelly is the short option on this near side, but he's been policed by Walsh. So it's high towards that far post, and it's just over the head of Joe Lewis, who was coming in unmarked initially, but he can't get a touch, and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, first viewing, I think, is a poor corner as he overhits it and goes back, but then I see Joe Lewis put his arm up, so maybe there was a tactic go around the back post. He put his hand up to say apologies, that was his fault. So, yeah, maybe he got that run wrong.
Mokosso now for Luton, forward towards Nahki Wells, who is buzzing around characteristically on this near side. Now Walters will gather further forward. He's got support from Mokosso on this near side. First time ball towards the edge of the area. Clark tries to play it further wide towards Longvik, the youngster signed on loan from Wolves, but he just slips, and as a result AFC Wimbledon will try and break downfield, and they've won a throw-in midway inside the Luton half, and I think Johnny Jackson will be fairly satisfied with the way this game is going at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, as we said, it was a good start by Luton. First 5 minutes looked to be on the front foot, but they've really come into the game at the moment. Their tactic is try to play in the channels, get them chasing, get the defenders facing their own goal, and it is working at the moment. It's stifling Luton a little bit.
Darren Ambrose with us here on Talksport 2 this evening, as AFC Wimbledon look for a free kick on the far side. Nothing given initially. Longvik, though, will win it back, and then he in turn has given the ball away to Asiimwe, the right-sided player signed on loan from Charlton. He was at Walsall last season. His previous game was against AFC Wimbledon when he lost at Wembley, and of course Walsall ended up with nothing, having finished 4th in a one-horse race, as it's played down the line on the far side for Hippolyte down the right, but it's overhit and goes behind for a goal kick.
Must be said, we were there at Wembley, me and Hugh, and I think they deserved it. AFC Wimbledon, and it was more of the team spirit, the togetherness. Walsall played well on the day but couldn't quite break them down, and the atmosphere at the end of that game at Wembley was sensational. And you said before, it's a good way to go, but you don't get much time off after.
Walters now having to just track back on this near side. Neither he, though, or Kelly can get a touch, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. 17 minutes played here on Talksport 2. Luton Town 0, AFC Wimbledon 0. The opening game of the League One season. Of course, the Championship is back next weekend, and we have all the angles covered next Friday. Birmingham against Ipswich is our commentary game. That will be on Talksport, as will Southampton against Wrexham, 12:30 on Saturday. At the same time, Coventry against Hull will be on Talksport 2. Then at 3 o'clock it'll be West Brom against Blackburn, followed by Sheffield United against Bristol City, at 5:30 as Wells comes forward now on the far side for Luton down their left. Quickly back in field, and Ali, with a bit of a shuffle and a body swerve, tries to evade Asiimwe, but what he has done is win a throw-in for Luton by the Wimbledon corner flag on the far side. And next Sunday, 4:30, it is due to be Leicester against Sheffield Wednesday, but the EFL apparently do have concerns that Sheffield Wednesday may not be able to play that game as the implosion at Hillsborough continues. Now Makoso slides it forward again on this near side, but Wimbledon quickly win it back, and they've been very effective at breaking up the Luton attacks in the last 5 minutes or so. And it's wide towards Johnson on this near side. Hippolyte will challenge Makoso and just gives him a nudge. Spotted by the referee, and it will be a free kick to Luton.
I have to say, Nigel, Asiimwe down the right-hand side is an outlet for AFC Wimbledon. If Josh Kelly had just looked up, he tried to play infield, but if he just looked up, he was in down the right-hand side. Lomvite had got forward, and Asiimwe, full of energy, full of running, was on his own. It's a good battle down that side.
And the skies are really darkening away to our left-hand side. Darkness yet to descend here at Kenilworth Road as Longvike, with the outside of his right foot, plays a good ball down the line on the left, looking for Ali. He will try and take on Osundure. A good ball in field, Walsh though just losing out, miscontrolling, and as a result, Kelly will try and bring it forward for AFC Wimbledon. He was having his shirt pulled by Makoso, but not spotted by the referee. And now Ali will bring it forward on the far side, the left. He's got support from Clark in space inside the area, drives it across, but gathered well at the second attempt by Nathan Bishop.
Gets into some good positions, Jordan Clark, and the three up front are combining really well. Naki Wells, Melenik Ali and Jordan Clark. This time couldn't quite get his cross put right and hit the hands of Bishop.
Now Kelly coming forward over the halfway line for AFC Wimbledon. Asiimwe is forward and spotted on this near side. And the opportunity now to attack Hippolyte and Stevens inside the penalty area. Now it's back to Ogundere. But very quickly, AFC Wimbledon are playing the game at their pace here, and Wimbledon are on top with 20 minutes played as Johnson goes all the way back towards Bishop, who just checks and then rather slices the clearance towards this near side. Seddon under pressure from Walters, and as a result, it's a throw-in to Luton on this near side. And Luton following Swindon, Wolves and Sunderland in recent years from the Premier League to League One. And as Darren was saying, they went down on goal difference in the end, losing 5-3 at West Brom on the final day. But really the damage was done before that late dash towards the escape route. Saville wins it back here for Luton. And already they're getting a taste of being one of the bigger fish in the division once again, as Makoso plays a decent looking ball forward, looking for Ali, in behind, but gathered by Bishop, the AFC Wimbledon goalkeeper. Quickly forward towards Hippolyte on the halfway line. He goes down, but no free kick given. And now Reeves, out-muscled by Ali. And it's interesting, Darren, they're going for this direct approach at times, but there's not a huge amount of height in the Luton attack.
No, and it's been quite clever, actually, because they have, I said, the opening 15 minutes, they've been putting it into the channels, trying to chase it. Stevens and Kelly up front chasing it, and Hippolyte trying to get the second ball. But now, Reeves is getting on it in front of the back four, and he's trying to find little intricate passes in between, because the defence pushing so far back, it's allowing that bit of space to come and get the ball. It's been a real clever opening 23 minutes by AFC Wimbledon.
Well, I was outside Kenilworth Road about an hour before kick-off, and plenty of optimism. People were talking about a quicker return to the Championship, but midway through the first half, we look around the stadium, particularly behind the goal away to our left, and those glum faces are back again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they're not losing, it's 0-0. But yeah, the atmosphere has really quietened down. It was amazing before the game. You can hear a pin drop at the moment.
Anderson plays a high ball forward. Ali, though, beaten to it by Lewis in the air. And Asiimwe will play it back to Bishop. First time ball forward from him. Stevens will rather jump into Anderson. And now it's gathered by Saville. And he's forced back by Hippolyte. deep inside the Luton half, and Hippolyta's done well to win it back, and here is Reeves now. High ball towards Kelly inside the area, but claimed well by Keeley.
It is comfortable, Josh Keeley, and as you said, there's not much height. So when Hippolyte wins the ball back, he puts it straight in the box. Josh Kelly against Christ Makosso, there's one winner there. In the end, it was comfortable. Josh Keeley come out and caught the ball. It's been a good game so far. It has to be said, opening 5 minutes was all Luton, and it's been fairly even, and the AFC Wimbledon are just trying to get a feel of how to get into this game.
And now Naismith, who was a real mainstay in Luton's rise from League One last time, finds Makosso, and a good ball down the line. It'll break towards Naki Wells inside the area. He turns, but his shot was blocked well by Ogundere. It'll break out towards Walsh, and now Walters on the right-hand side, finding Clark in space. He pulls it back, but it was behind Wells on this occasion. It's cleared away by Reeves, but now Walsh again for Luton, scoops it over the top. And in the end, it was a stretching Clark inside the penalty area. Looking to spin and volley the ball towards goal, unable to make any real contact, but just a flash there of what Naki Wells could be capable of.
Yeah, it was a strange decision for me in the end, though. He could have gone with his right foot, Naki Wells, but he let the ball come across him and hit it with his left foot. A bit of confusion. Seddon and Johnson in the back line of AFC Wimbledon allowed him to get in, but he run across him and hit it with the left foot as opposed to just swing his right foot at it.
24 minutes played, 0-0 here at Kenilworth Road. The first game of the EFL season on the home of the EFL, Talksport 2. Ali clips a high ball forward, looking for Wells, but it's cut out by Lewis, and now Miles Hippolyte again turns and plays a good ball forward, intended for Kelly on this near side, but Makosso reads it well and heads the ball away. And here is Walters for Luton in their orange shirts, and Smith just catching Walsh on the half turn, and it will be a free kick for Luton, a couple of yards inside their own half. And Walsh receiving it back from Anderson, swings it wide to the far side, and Longvik down the channel for Ali. And Longvik again all the way back to the halfway line, and Naismith. And Luton are having to be very patient here. Wimbledon had the best defensive record in League Two last season, but although they've lost both of their wing-backs, they've replaced them with decent players, and that DNA remains. As Seddon on this near side has been penalised, and it will be a free kick for Luton for the challenge on Walters.
Yeah, it's in a dangerous position as well for Luton. Walsh can deliver it in. He played a great ball in the opening 15 minutes from a similar area. He's a little bit wider now. Just need to hit it around the defence. And they're a big side, to be honest, Nigel, looking at them, they're both big sides. It would be a hell of a delivery to allow someone to get on the end of this.
Saville and Walsh are over it. And the Wimbledon fans behind that goal in an ebullient mood at the moment. And it's left for Saville to swing this ball in left-footed. High towards the far post, and the header is over the top from Makosso. Got a clear run there towards the edge of the 6-yard area, but ballooned it over the top.
Yeah, I think that's a big chance, this. As you said, it wasn't Walsh in the end. It's a good delivery. Is it Naismith in the end playing the delivery? And then Christ Makosso got a run on his defence, and he's disappointed. You could tell by his face. It was a clean header at goal, just got it all wrong. Ended up landed on top of the stand, but that's probably the best chance of the match so far.
Nathan Bishop will take the goal kick. 27 minutes played here, and it's still 0-0, and neither goalkeeper has had anything like a shot to look at so far, as Longvik plays it forward on the far side. He's wearing the number 17 shirt, and he's taken on the shirt vacated by Peli Radakampanzu, who was of course a fixture in the Luton midfield all the way from non-league to the Premier League, but he's moved on to Cambridge United. And Longvik, one of the new players who has come in. And we should say, when you take 10 players out and bring 8 in with possibly more to come, it's going to take a bit of time, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. It's difficult to gel really, really quickly. I know a couple of Cambridge fans, and they're really excited with the signing, Peli Radakampanzu. But yeah, as you said, you've got to do your work on the training ground. You've got to have enough time together. Sometimes you haven't got enough, and you just need to gel during the season.
And the Luton fans are rising to applaud one of their supporters who sadly passed away during the close season, as was played forward by Reeves, and Stevens was on the move there for AFC Wimbledon, but from an offside position it was hammered onto the roof of the stand by Keeley on the far side, and it will be a free kick. And Naismith will take it. And at the moment this is a very even game. Hughes suggested it may be slightly turgid before kick-off, and so far he's not too far wrong in terms of clear-cut chances, as Reeves plays it back towards Bishop. It's cleared downfield up to the halfway line. Stevens does well to rise above Walsh. It's all a bit scrappy, and Anderson plays it wide to the far side. And Nigel Longvike, who was on loan at Huddersfield in this division last season, another team that were strongly tipped to bounce back to the Championship, and their season really fell away the longer it went on, as Naismith plays a long ball forward down the left. Ali will get there before Ogundore. And here is Longvike now, but Luton are finding it very, very difficult to break down this Wimbledon team. Now Anderson, half an hour played, 0-0. Makoso slipped into Naki Wells, right-hand side of the penalty area. Now Walters. And Walters will clip it further forward towards Clark, who tries to bounce off the challenge of Reeves, who maybe gave him a slight nudge there on the edge of the penalty area, but Reeves is able to get there first and clear. But here is Naismith, scored some spectacular long-range goals during his time here. The crowd always encouraging him to shoot. Longvike now on the far side, back towards Saville, and once again it's slightly too intricate as it's given away by Luton, and then Naismith fouls Stevens, and it will be a free kick for AFC Wimbledon.
Yeah, as you said, Nigel, it's looking really difficult for Luton to break down this AFC Wimbledon team shape. They drop really, really deep. They go 5 at the back. They have Reeves in front, stopping it, getting him to Naki Wells. It's going to be really tough to continue this for the whole 90 minutes. But at the moment, they're stifling Luton, and Luton seem to have run out of ideas already.
Well, I think you should read very little into pre-season results, but Luton drew 0-0 here with Spurs last week. A very good performance after 5 wins.
Yeah, they mean nothing, those those pre-seasons. Yeah,
well, Wimbledon lost 1-0 at Southend, and some of their fans were saying, well, Johnny Jackson was saying it's not good enough.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's the work rate, the desire. The scoreline means nothing, but if you're not working hard as a team, getting your tactical approach right, that's when the manager can start getting the that's when they can start, as you said, saying some strong words in the change room. But results, everything like that, doesn't mean nothing.
You're clearly right, but these days people give opinions on behind closed doors games they haven't seen on social media.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And look, being a Spurs fan myself, there was question marks that day. I think they drew the back-to-back games on that day, one being here. So
during Wickham as well, but then beat Arsenal. So everything's okay.
Yeah, exactly. We'll take that.
32 minutes played here, 0-0. And so far, Johnny Jackson, I think, will be a good deal happier than Matt Bloomfield with the way things are going. And Matt Bloomfield was making it very clear before a ball was kicked how difficult this division would be this season. I mean, Luton breezed straight through League One the last time they were here. Back-to-back promotions into the Championship under Nathan Jones and Mick Harford. And Luton playing towards a very strong setting sun behind the stand on the far side as it's gathered by Clark on the right. But again, under pressure, Luton just missed control. It was Clark this time as Lewis came across, and it will be a throw-in for AFC Wimbledon.
Yeah, there's frustration as well in the Luton camp, you can see. Naki Wells giving a little bit of strong advice, you'd have to say. Matty Bloomfield once or twice has been out of his technical area. Again, saying some strong words. Just seems like there's a little bit of frustration already. We're only a third of the way through the match.
Now Keeley plays it wide to this near side, and Anderson, Hippolyte quickly engaging him. And now Clark plays it back towards Walsh, and now Naki Wells can chase forward. He's got Ali in support. Ali can break into the penalty area, just forced wide by a heavy first touch, and Ogundore did well to come across and just play the ball away. Quickly taken throw in though. Here is Naismith though, down the left-hand side. Fizzes the cross in, and Johnson under pressure there. 6 yards out, has to balloon the ball over his own crossbar, and Luton Town have their first corner with 34 minutes play.
Yeah, I have to say, a great ball into the box by Naismith. Great left foot delivery into the box. Looks like he might come over. It might be George Saville coming to take the corner. But yeah, I just feel on the attack, Naki Wells may have been able to hold on to it a little bit longer, draw Ogundere into him, but he didn't. He played it early. Malele Kali got it all wrong in terms of his touch. Heavy touch, allowed Ogundere just to clear it.
Once again, Saville and Walsh are over the set piece on this near side. And that setting sun is now very, very strong behind that goal. A number of people in the stand beneath us having to shield their eyes as Wimbledon try and organise. And of course, defensively, they were extremely well organised during the entirety of the League Two campaign. Saville with the corner, high to the far post, headed away by Johnson as the bodies tumble from both sides inside the area. And it will only be a Luton Town throw-in on the far side. Clark quickly infield towards Walters. Walters with a high ball in. Anderson is still forward. Johnson, though, heads away. Saville heads it back into the penalty area. And Stevens on the stretch looped a header back towards his own goal, but it turned out to be a good defensive clearance for Bishop to gather.
Yeah, it all happened, but not a lot going on, to be honest. There, the corner came in. It was a unique corner routine. I see 4 players at the front post, all going down on their knees as if they're tired, and then all jumped up when the corner was coming in, run round the far side, but yeah, nothing much happened.
Here is Wells now, gets goal side of Lewis, and Lewis brings him down on the edge of the penalty area, and it will be a yellow card for Joe Lewis. It was slight contact, it was in a wider area, and that's the correct decision.
Yeah, it is the correct decision. It's not a red card for me. You look at Naki Wells, real clever play from the forward, just gets his body in between the player and the ball. He's onside. We're lucky to have the monitor in front of us. It's onside, and it's one of those, as he runs across him, just connects with his foot and just trips him. It's the right decision, and yellow card's the right call.
But a free kick here for Luton in a very good position. They've got a 4-man committee over this. Naismith could look to curl this with the left foot, as could Saville. 9 minutes to play in the first half here on Talksport 2. Luton Town 0, AFC Wimbledon 0. But Luton gradually are beginning to pick things up here. And I think Saville may fancy a crack here. There's a very inviting gap. Nathan Bishop is leaving away to his right-hand side, although he's just shuffling across his goal line now. 3 in the wall. And 3 Luton Town players discussing this free kick, including Naki Wells. Once again,
from George Saville, Nigel, I think I'm going to hit this.
Yeah,
it's a little bit out in terms of the angle, but for a left footer, if he hits this correctly, they're all going to run in, all the players. It might unsight the goalkeeper, and who knows.
And there's now a fairly big gap at the near post as well. It will be Saville who plays it high towards that far post, and in the end, one bounce straight out of play for a goal kick. He should have hit it.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I used to be a free kick taker myself, and that's just a waste. You're in such a good position, you may as well hit it at the goal. Try and get it rebounding off the goalkeeper, hitting the post, hitting the bar. Of course, we'd love it to go in, but anything's better than just looping it over the top into the crowd. It's just a waste from such a dangerous position.
Well, both these teams really struggled for goals last season. Only Hull scored fewer than Luton in the Championship, and considering where Wimbledon finished, they didn't hit the net too often. 11 1-0 wins during the campaign, including all 3 of their playoff games, as the ball just clumps against the roof of the stand in front of us. You were there again, weren't you?
I think Hugh was going to challenge me there for the header.
I wouldn't take him on.
Elbows out it was.
Yeah, elbows Rosencroft. Here is Johnson now, plays it down the line, looking for Seddon. All the action literally taking beneath our feet, as it's cleared away on this near side, and it will be a throw-in with 7 minutes to play in what's been a fairly uneventful first half on the whole, but I think Wimbledon will be by far the happier side as Seddon clips it in field, looking for Walters. And it's a throw-in again for Wimbledon, but Makoso is able to hammer the ball away by the corner flag on this near side. Naismith allows the ball to bounce and almost gave the ball away to Hippolyte. And now Makoso high up to the halfway line, headed away by Johnson. And it's all pretty scrappy in a 10-yard area either side of the halfway line, but again, that will suit AFC Wimbledon.
Yeah, you got the word exactly right. Very scrappy. Last 15-20 minutes, there's not been much happening whatsoever. Both forward lines are quite small and they're both playing the long balls upfield. They're just getting eaten up by the defenders. They need to come up with a different plan, because at the moment it's looking like this could end 0-0 even after 40 minutes.
On this near side, it's quickly played forward by Smith for Wimbledon. He then challenges Walsh and fouls him, and it will be a free kick for Luton. There's one or two Luton fans head downstairs for the half-time refreshment, and all of that pre-season, pre-match optimism has rather fizzled away at the moment. But of course, one goal can change everything. Anderson with the early ball forward, curled in behind looking for Ali, but headed away well by Johnson, who's had an excellent game so far for AFC Wimbledon. Indeed, all three of their central defenders have looked a really good unit, and every passing minute will give their fans real hope that they can survive in this division and maybe do more than that, as Naismith comes forward now for Luton, wide to the far side, the left, and Longvik. Asiimwe will just cover him, so it's back in field again towards Naismith, and Luton are finding it very, very difficult to get in behind, as Makoso was slightly fortunate there to evade Kelly on the halfway line, but then plays a good ball forward. Here is Ali, who cuts in field beyond Johnson towards the penalty area. He then goes down, but the referee waves away the appeals, and it's cleared away by Seddon. Curls it down the line, left-hand side. The ball actually stays in play, although, in fact, the ball had swung out before it bounced back in play, and it will be a throw-in to Luton on this near side. And they've got ball players, Luton, in their team, but they're getting no time at all at the moment.
They just look nervous. They really do, and you can feel an element of nervousness around the crowd as well. Melenik Ali, lovely footwork down the right-hand side. Tried to, no one in the box, no movement in the box, so he had to try and dribble himself. Lost possession.
Now Naismith once again going wide to Saville, left-hand side. And his ball into the penalty area is a good one to pick out Wells. Wells turns, his cross is deflected off Lewis, ripples the roof of the netting, and Luton Town have a corner kick.
And that's what you need, Naki Wells, just be positive. Try and get the ball into the box. It has to be said, there was no one in there, even though he did try. Just got deflected over a corner. You can already feel the atmosphere rising a little bit, and it's just a corner. They just need to do a little bit more, Luton, because they're really quieting down this crowd, AFC Wimbledon, and obviously their travelling support are really happy with this opening 42 minutes.
Walsh and Saville, the set-piece twins, are over this once again. It will really suit Walsh, the right-footed player, to whip this ball in. Anderson makes the run towards the near post, then peels away. Walsh's delivery, headed up in the air initially, and then Johnson will clear. It's further clear by Ogundere, and then a high ball back into the penalty area, and a looping header from Saville is over the top, and it may well have been the best opportunity for Luton so far. It was played back into the area. Longvik then challenging for it with Ogundere at the far post. It came back out towards Saville, and that looked to be a really good chance.
Yeah, it really did. It was a great ball by Walters into the box, and as they get there, it looked like a foul to me at the back post, but nothing was given. There was no whistle. And it's come back, and Anderson was there on his own, really. Tried to loop it into the far corner. Just put too much onto his header, landing on top. But I did initially think it was a foul on Ogundere in the box. Looks like it has been given. I didn't hear the whistle, but looks like he gave the foul.
Isaac Ogundere, one of the academy youngsters who are stepping up with AFC Wimbledon. They've also got a number of players in their team playing their first match at this level. Players like Joe Lewis at the age of 31 have spent all of their career either in non-league or League Two, so this is a big opportunity for them. Longvik with a throw-in for Wimbledon. 2 minutes to play in the first half here on Talksport 2. 0-0. at Kenilworth Road as a long ball is played forward by Reeves for Wimbledon. Anderson will control and play it back towards Keeley. Keeley with a low scudding clearance which manages to find Saville. I don't think he meant that, but now Luton Town can bring it forward. Long Viking space on the right hand side. It's played back towards Saville. Saville with the cross in. It's flicked on by Clark. Doesn't quite fall for Wells, and it's brought clear by Seddon at the far post, but Seddon is quickly outnumbered. Here is Makoso for Luton in the centre circle. There's time for Naismith, but his ball in is headed away by Johnson, and then Stevens challenging Naismith, so it almost falls for Hippolyte. And in the end, Naki Wells, I think, coming from an offside position to win the ball back, and he's been penalised. And you can hear the moans and groans from the home supporters as a free kick is given, but I think that's as much for the way that their team have been completely nullified at the moment.
Yeah, so much optimism in there when you're in pre-season. At the start of the game, the crowd were buzzing. There was a lot of... The atmosphere was great. The only one that's got a good atmosphere at the moment is the AFC Wimbledon travelling support. It's been a real scrappy game. Can't really remember too many chances. Christ Makossa with a header that went over. Other than that, there's not much been happening at all. I don't remember AFC Wimbledon testing Josh Keeley whatsoever either.
Now Stevens looking to do that under a high ball forward, but he loses out to Anderson, and Luton quickly play it forward. Lewis, though, will head the ball away for AFC Wimbledon over Naki Wells. And now Seddon on the halfway line, and there will be a minimum of 1 more minute at the end of the first half as Makosu just slips as he looks to evade Kelly, and he seemed to give him a bit of an elbow there as he tried to recover his position, maybe accidental. In fairness to Kelly, he didn't complain, but now Wimbledon want a free kick as Hippolyte goes down under Anderson's challenge on the edge of the penalty area, but nothing given.
I did think exactly that, Nigel. It's right in front of us, isn't it? And Christ Makosso's elbow did look to hit Josh Kelly's face, but as you said, he just carried on. Maybe it was an accidental clash as he was trying to shield the ball.
I think higher up we've seen players go down in that situation.
For sure.
The Wimbledon clear the ball away on the far side as we tick towards the end of that 1 added minute in the first half.
Surprised there was 1 minute, to be honest.
Yes. Low ball slipped into the penalty area for Luton, but cleared away by Asiimwe. Stevens again heavily outnumbered. The Wimbledon striker has not had much change out of either Anderson or Makoso so far, and that is half time, and you can hear 1 or 2 moans and groans from the Luton Town supporters. It's not been the return to League One they were hoping for so far. Plenty of pre-match optimism, but AFC Wimbledon have done a really good job on them so far. Neither goalkeeper has had anything like a shot to save, and as a result of that, half-time, it is Luton Town 0, AFC Wimbledon 0.
Well, I can see a bunch of curly yellow wigs away in that AFC Wimbledon away section. They are the happier. They are still bouncing up and down. You'd think it was the 90th minute or the final minute at Wembley at the end of last season when they were promoted into League One, because they are very content with what they have seen from their side so far. The Luton Town fans are feeling very, very different. That is the opening 45 minutes of the League One season complete, and let's hope it isn't an advert for the season to come. 2 shots in all, both of those for the home side, who haven't really shown us much by way of attacking intent. AFC Wimbledon, I'm sure, will be the happier. They've frustrated the fans inside Kenilworth Road. They've been well organised, well prepared, and they've probably, for me, shown more desire on the evening as well. So plenty of work for the home side Luton Town to do. If Wimbledon leave here with a point, they'll be absolutely delighted. What has led to the kind of game we've seen in that first half, Darren Ambrose?
I mean, you called it, Hugh. You said it could be turgid, and it has been. It's been very nerves. There's been a lot of nerves involved in today's game, and I don't really know why. I can't understand why this is happening. Maybe first game nerves. Friday night under the lights, you've got a team that's lacking confidence in Luton Town, going down twice in a row, and AFC Wimbledon have just stifled them. It's not a good advert, you said, for League One at the moment, and hopefully we get some more quality in the second half.
I think what we're seeing with AFC Wimbledon is they've come here with no fear, and what we're seeing from Luton Town is a fear factor. There is clearly a difference in quality, but Luton just don't know how to unlock it, and AFC Wimbledon are happy to sit deep, happy to be tight, and like I say, just frustrate Luton Town, and ultimately that is playing into a game which lacks entertainment. AFC Wimbledon won't care though.
Yeah, to be honest, it is. It's a team that's lacking confidence, and I don't know why, because the start was really good for Luton. The opening 5 minutes, they were on the front foot. They were playing their kind of stuff as well. Naki Wells was making some nice little movements, trying to get Jordan Clark in the game. Melenik Ali was trying to get on the end of some lovely Josh Keeley long, I say punt up fields, but they're not. They were measured. It seemed to be a tactic. After 5, 6, 7 minutes, AFC Wimbledon worked that out, and then they started to frustrate Luton, especially on the counter attack. They were then trying to be direct into the channels. Wasn't quite coming off. But as I said, there's not much to analyse in terms of the game, in terms of goalmouth action. But
I expected more fluency from the Luton Town attack. I did. I just felt there's a lot of players there, good quality players there, who at this level would have had a plan. And maybe it goes down to the manager, right? Matt Bloomfield has to employ this team in a way that puts them a cut above the other teams in the division. It's all good signing players who are championship level, but they do need to have a plan, right? You're not signing Lionel Messi. If you give these players a platform to perform, they will. At the moment, they don't have that. The frustration's built in the fans, but it's also built on the pitch. You can see the players getting annoyed with one another. It's the first game of the season, the first 45 minutes in a competitive match they've played. They need to relax a little bit. At times they forced it, and that's the thing that's annoying me most, because everyone's thought that they're going to be a little bit more possession based. We saw that for the first 20 minutes. Now they're just knocking it direct. And what I'm seeing is not a team that's going to be at the top of League One. It's a team that reminds me of the team that was at the bottom of the Championship at the start of last season, where it's hit and hope. We just force it down their end of the pitch and hope it drops for us. They need to be better than that if they're going to get automatically promoted. Yes, okay, it's the first 45 minutes of the season, so I should be cutting them some slack. But remember, we're watching a game that's supposedly the title favourites against the favourites for relegation. We should see a gap even in the first game of the season, and there isn't one.
No, there isn't, and we're watching it from where we are, our position in the gantry, and you couldn't tell us who was the favourites and who was the ones that just come up from League Two. It was a very nervous 45 minutes from Luton, it has to be said. AFC Wimbledon had a game plan. Look, they don't score many. They didn't score many last season, and they've got, I think, 0.0 expected goals. I know that means nothing because they've taken the favourites of the division. They're 0-0 at half time. But Luton have to do more. If they're going to be the favourites to go up, that wasn't showing right there. And yes, AFC Wimbledon, they're coming here. We spoke about, can they make it like a cup final? After 10 minutes, the crowd was so quiet. You could hear a pin drop. They need to lift themselves as well, but the players need to give them something to cheer about, give them something to have hope that the season's going to be successful.
But this is what you get after back-to-back relegations. You get a whole culture, a whole ground, staff, players who not only lack confidence, they can't remember how to get it. They can't remember where it comes from. And I tell you, a lot of those players are like trying to remind themselves how we score goals as a team, how the patterns of play need to be for us to create chance after chance after chance. They have been put to the sword for the last 2 seasons. They've fed off scraps for the last 2 seasons, and now they're expected to dominate their opposition. It's going to take time. Again, I don't want to put too much pressure on Luton Town. It's the first game of the season. Hopefully they'll work it out. But I'm sure the fans here at Kenilworth Road came here expecting a lot more than they saw in that first half. Fingers crossed for them, they get more in the second. It's going to be live and exclusive here on Talksport 2. Darren Ambrose and Nigel Ladley will be back for the second half very, very shortly. But so far, Wimbledon aren't looking like the favourites for relegation, and Luton are looking a long way from their tag as title favourites. At the break, it is Luton 0, AFC Wimbledon 0.
Have you ever wondered what becoming a lotto millionaire sounds like?
You want to sit down? I can confirm that you have won £1 million indeed.
That's Terry, finding out he'd won £1 million.
Oh my God.
Lotto from the National Lottery. Will you be the next millionaire? Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Right. How do I play this then?
First you need to build a shield, Dad.
Got it.
Hang on, Hunter123 says he wants to link with you.
Yeah, link means meet up in real life.
Oh, I see. And what do you do when that happens?
I just block them.
Okay, and has that happened before?
There was this one time I was playing this.
Keeping up keeps them safe. Talk to your kids about online safety. Tesco Mobile. It pays to be connected. Search Tesco Mobile online safety to learn more.
Does the thought of renewing your car insurance weigh you down? Does it make you feel like you want to pull your hair out? Why not use Confused.com and feel more like a balloon? A balloon in the shape of a person who's no longer weighed down by car insurance. And balloons don't have hair. They're completely smooth. Car insurance feels better when you've just used Confused.com.
Tradespeople, fixers, makers, and doers of the undone. Anyone who knows their way around a toolbox. With Seeker on your side, there's no detail too small and tricky, no design too grand, and no mission too impossible. With a range of products for every job and quality you can count on, nothing can stand in your way. Not even the length of this ad break. So can someone stick the tunes back on? Seeker, bring it on.
You've reached the final level. The Spicy McNuggets side mission. Maximum flavour, crispy crunch, and a spicy dip with a kick.
Are you ready?
Spicy McNuggets, for a limited time only. Until the 9th of September 25. Fees apply to delivery. Participation and price may vary. Subject to availability. Serving times apply.
Here we are. A couple of pints.
Great. Neck oil, yeah?
As requested. So, what did you get up to this weekend?
Well, funny story, actually. I befriended this panda, discovered he had a beautiful singing voice, taught him how to harmonise. We got a record deal, went on tour, went platinum in Basingstoke, then broke up due to creative differences.
Right. So that's why there's a panda giving you the finger from across the street, then?
That's right, brother.
Stick your neck out. Beavertown. Never normal. Visit drinkaware.co.uk. Enjoy Beavertown beer responsibly.
Join the Football Collective.
The cool, clinical finish.
EFL Live on Talksport 2.
Well, we're halfway through the opening game of the EFL season, and it doesn't really feel like a midsummer's evening. Dark clouds overhead, a bunch of fed-up fans. You'd think the pitch was waterlogged with the amount of head tennis we've witnessed. Is this what we spent 2 months waiting for at the break? Luton Town 0, AFC Wimbledon 0. It's left a lot to be desired. Fingers crossed, it's just a hangover from pre-season, and they'll get to sort themselves out in the second 45 minutes, which is coming here live and exclusive on Talksport 2. Fingers crossed we get at least one goal here this evening. We were so excited at kick-off. And before kick-off, I mentioned AFC Wimbledon's Sam Hutchinson. Now, he is back with the team after serious heart surgery back in May. He had a blockage in his artery. That led to a heart attack during the playoff game, the first leg last season with Notts County. Now, he was cared for by sports cardiologist Professor Sanjay Sharma. He also took care of the former Luton captain Tom Lockyer and ex-Manchester United and Spurs midfielder Christian Eriksen. Sam Hutchinson spoke to TalkSport's Ian Abrahams earlier on about that moment.
One of my arteries was blocked 75%. So it happened in the 6th minute. Hands went sweaty, my chest went really tight, and I just went a bit dizzy. I come out of that, and obviously then just had real bad chest pain throughout the game. Actually coming at half time, and there's video evidence because they was doing a docu-series at the club. I said to the physio, I can't breathe, I'm struggling. So played on, scored the winner, and the rest is sort of history. Like, ended up in Nottingham Hospital for 5 days, had the procedure, little surgery, angiogram at the Cleveland by Dr. Malikan and Professor Sharma, and then I've been under their care ever since. Done all of pre-season, probably done a little bit too much, but feel really good for it. I'm fit, play 75 minutes on the weekend, and I'm taking it a little bit easy tonight. But
is this on a level with what we saw with Christian Eriksen and Tom Lockyer?
No, definitely not. Nowhere near. They had cardiac arrest. They had to be fitted with a defibrillator.
So you don't have any of that?
No, I had a stent, and now I've got a leak in my heart as well. So potentially at the end of the season or 2-3 years' time, I have to change a valve because I only had 2 valves, and I don't know if having the heart attack made the leak a little bit worse, but you're meant to have 3 valves. So none of the other tests throughout my whole career at Chelsea, anywhere, any other club, they picked up on it. So, which was a bit weird, but we found it now, so it can all be looked after. And I think I've got my final appointment on Monday.
Because you've retired once from football for injury, I remember. And I remember out of Chelsea press conference, I can't remember the manager now, and the press officer came up to me after says, "Thanks for mentioning Sam."
Yeah.
Right. And then you came back, and I obviously it's for Wednesday, etc., etc. 2 questions that spring to mind are: why didn't you come off at half time if you didn't feel well?
Yeah.
And secondly, are you worried it could happen again?
So why didn't I come off at half time? I don't really know, to be honest. I don't think we, physio, me, ever envisaged it being something like that. I just thought it was chest pains, and in hindsight, if you have chest pains, you should obviously come off straight away. But I'm a stubborn old man now. I'm not as young as I was. Obviously, I retired when I was 21 with a bad knee injury, and I've had to put up with that my whole career. And I just think, like, for my kids to see me keep playing and like go through the controversy of having a heart attack, having injuries, and hard work will prevail eventually. And I still love what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? I'm at Wimbledon because I love to play football. I chose this club because it's local, it's perfect for me, they look after me, I can do what I need to do here, and I get the games, and I really like how the club have taken to me, how they've looked after me throughout this as well. So it's a thank you to them as well, as much as anything. And I've still got so much to give. I can still run around like a headless chicken sometimes. So no, I just love playing football still. So until I stop, love playing. I'll just carry on through it.
Great to hear Sam Hutchinson in great spirits, a former Sheffield Wednesday and Reading man. And of course, the EFL runs alongside the British Heart Foundation a scheme, I guess, called Every Minute Matters. If you haven't seen it, do check it out. Learn CPR. If something like this ever happens around you, you want to be prepared. It's a fantastic scheme and initiative, so make sure you do check it out. Just go to the EFL's website for more on that. And remember, we've got more live football coming for you this weekend. Tomorrow, 12:30 kickoff, Cardiff City will host Peterborough United. I don't know if you've seen the new Peterborough United badge, crest. Make sure you check it out. I'm saying nothing else on the matter. We'll also have Bradford against Wickham in League One live for you tomorrow. That is a 3 o'clock kickoff live here on Talksport 2. And more live football for you on Sunday here on Talksport 2 as Stockport host Bolton. Remember, 1:30 tomorrow for Game Day Live with Adrian Durham, Mickey Gray and Sean Derry. That is on Talksport. 1:30, as I mentioned. All the goals as they go in from up and down the country, of course, on a very busy day at the start of the League One and League Two season. Here at Kenilworth Road, goalless between Luton Town and AFC Wimbledon. Darren Ambrose alongside me, the former Newcastle winger. I'm thinking changes here. I'm thinking changes are going to win the game, either formationally or personnel. I'm thinking Danilo Orsi might be a match winner for AFC Wimbledon if they can get a presence in the box.
I think Johnny Jackson at half-time, maybe before the game would have been thinking a draw would be good. I think they can certainly find a winner here. And as you said, Danilo Orsi comes on, match winner, refreshing, fresh legs. Something's got to change from Luton at the moment because nothing is happening. Seriously, nothing is happening for them, and AFC Wimbledon has stifled them in the first half.
Baptiste, Woodrow on the bench for Luton. We'll see if they can be match winners themselves. But the second half about to get underway live on Talksport 2 in the company of Darren Ambrose and our very own Nigel Adderley.
Thank you, Hugh. And it's Luton who will get the second half underway in their orange and black, attacking the Kenilworth Road end away to our left-hand side. Wimbledon in dark blue and yellow trim. No changes to either side at half-time. So the Luton team, Keeley in goal, Makoso, Anderson and Naismith are back three. Walters, Walsh, Saville and Longbike across the middle with Clark in behind Wells and Ali. Wimbledon, Bishop in goal, Ogundore, Lewis and Johnson the back three. Asiimwe and Seddon are the wing-backs. Smith, Reeves and Hippolyte in midfield, with Kelly and Stevens in attack. And throughout the first half, Darren, it seemed we've got one team in Luton who are maybe looking to find themselves and a team in Wimbledon who know exactly what they're going to do.
Absolutely, and they've played it perfectly in that first half. They've had nothing in front of goal, to be honest, AFC Wimbledon. But they're frustrating, Luton. They're frustrating the crowd. It's been really quiet apart from the opening 5 minutes. And if they can find a winner, I'm sure the away travelling end is going to be rocking.
Well, not a single shot on goal from AFC Wimbledon in the first half. One touch inside the penalty area. But then again, Nathan Bishop did not have a shot to save for Wimbledon either. It's been that sort of game so far. But here is Clark for Luton Town, looking to weave his way into the penalty area. But once again, AFC Wimbledon shut that door. And they were a team who were so good defensively last season, and they've carried that form into the opening 45 minutes at least in the League One season. And we've seen sides come up from League Two and often find it easier to try and grind out results, particularly in the early weeks of the season. And I'm sure that AFC Wimbledon fans will be very satisfied if they could do that here. Only 35 goals conceded last season. 1-0 was often the way for them. And they would certainly take that here tonight. 2 minutes played in the second half. Many Luton fans around us beginning to make their way back to their seats after half-time as Wimbledon try and build down their left. A long throw forward is headed away, and Seddon will take the throw in on the far side. And as Hugh was mentioning, there are attacking options for Wimbledon on the bench. Hackford and Orsi both arriving in the last couple of days. There's a high ball into the penalty area. Nearly finds Stevens, who rose between the two central defenders, but he was offside and the header was wide anyway.
Yeah, nearly the first real chance for AFC Wimbledon. And it was Stevens trying to get on the end of Seddon's cross. It was a great cross into the box. And he tried to get on the end, but just in front of, well, not in front of us, but our side, the assistant referee had his flag up, and it wasn't to be. But it's good defending in the end. I think it was Longvik in the end that cleared it.
And Stevens has worked incredibly hard, but barely had a kick in the game so far, shuttling between two of the three central defenders as Anderson plays it forward to Walsh. Walsh could maybe open things out here, but he was unlucky because Thomas Parsons, the referee, got in the way as Saville was about to receive that ball. He quickly apologises, and it will be a drop ball for Luton.
I'm not being funny. It's about 20 yards away. He had about 3 seconds to get out of the way, and he actually ran in the way.
He's obviously in the zone, isn't he? Yeah. Well, now he does drop the ball at the second attempt. And here is Anderson coming forward now, in towards Naki Wells, who lays it back in field, but straight to Hippolyte. And Wimbledon will try and break. Hippolyte, though, goes down. And the referee had a thought about it and then did give a free kick for the ankle tap from Walsh, and it will be a free kick. But again, we're seeing Naki Wells come so deep and having to go wide to get the ball. They need him in the penalty area.
Yeah, and it was sloppy from him as well. They found his feet. He tried to lay it off. I think it was to Milenik Ali, and he just got it all wrong. And he allowed the AFC Wimbledon to break out from the back and win that free kick. But I agree. Just put it over the top. Sometimes direct. It changes the philosophy of the game. It gets the defenders facing their own goal. Put it over the top, give them a race, give them a chase again, and try something different, because whatever they're doing at the moment isn't working.
And we have to say, Luton have been at their best in the game when they were going long in the first 10 minutes or so, looking for Naki Wells, and it's when they try and break Wimbledon down with more cultured football that they've had a problem in this match. Here is Hippolyte now again. And Wimbledon are a team who are full of players who will give absolutely everything. And they have earned their right to play in League One, which for them is a massive achievement. And really, they were set up for this opening game against a side who only 2 years ago were playing in the Premier League. There were 3 divisions between these two clubs only 2 seasons ago, but nothing between them so far here tonight. 50 minutes played, Luton Town 0, AFC Wimbledon 0 on the home of the EFL Talksport 2, as again Luton try and come forward. Clark on towards Walters, back towards Clark inside the penalty area, pulled back to Ali, but it's very tight. But Ali does well to recover the ball, drives the cross in low, which is deflected behind offset, and it will be a corner kick.
He did do really well, Melenik Ali, but Jordan Clark just made the wrong decision there. Longbike in the box, was free at the back post. George Saville was coming in on the penalty spot, and he reversed it back to Melenik Ali, but it was good feet in the end. The shot was blocked and it went out for a corner.
George Saville will take the corner kick on the far side. This will be another in-swinger here. High towards that far post. Anderson will challenge, but again, Johnson, who has missed absolutely nothing in the air so far, guides the ball away on this near side. Ali with the throw-in, quickly in towards Wells, who almost collides with Longbike, and Ogundere will clear the ball away, and Keeley on the halfway line closes down Stevens. Well, Josh Keeley there took off from outside his penalty area, saw Stevens making the break, and very quickly closed him down.
Yeah, I think Stevens would have been caught by Walters in the end, but I've been really impressed with Josh Keeley. His position has been fantastic. I was actually going to say the next time he come to me, he starts so far out of his goal. The AFC Wimbledon players sometimes need to have a look at that. If they can win it back like they have just inside their own box, could see a goal from the halfway line maybe.
Like Tottenham against Arsenal in Hong Kong.
I was just going to say exactly the same thing.
I think Spurs fans enjoyed that even in pre-season. 52 minutes played, 0-0, but at the moment it's more of the same for the home side, who are finding this a very frustrating evening. And beneath the banner, celebrating Mick Harford, of course a legend at both of these clubs, to throw in for Luton on the far side, but again, nothing really comes of it. And it's back with Keeley, and Keeley coming out to support Mads Andersen, who was outside his penalty area, and Keeley again now is stood about 40 yards out, and it's played forward by Ogundere, looking for Stevens, and Lewis will now loop a header forward as darkness just about descends here now at Kenilworth Road, but the rain has stayed away, but it's getting a bit chillier for the 1st of August as Ali plays it forward again. And back in field from Naismith for Luton. And here is Walsh. And there's an opportunity for Walters to try and break forward here, but a clever ball inside from Clark. And Walters will get there, and then he goes down inside the penalty area. And a goal kick's being given. And the way that George Saville went across to the corner flag on the far side, thinking it may be a corner, showed you there was no contact at all.
Yeah, we're lucky to have the screen in front of us, and it wasn't. It's the right decision. Slight arms in the back, but that was never going to be given as a penalty. Come off Walters for a goal kick. Good decision, but has to be said, Jordan Clark is getting some good positions now. Looking like he's getting confidence in this game. Played a lovely reverse pass to Walters there to go through to create that opportunity.
Well, Luton did unveil their new striker, Jerry Yates, before kick-off time. He's taken the number 9 shirt. Elijah Adebayo not involved this evening. He's out injured and could be out for some time as well. So if or when everybody is fit, there's going to be some competition for places, but they'll also need the service, and at the moment Luton are creating very little in this game. Ogundere with a throw-in on this near side. He quickly then gets it back and plays it down the line, looking for Hippolyte, but it's overhit and straight out of play for a goal kick to Luton Town. And really one of the most interesting things in this game so far is seeing where Josh Keeley will put these goal kicks, because once again he's able to dribble outside his penalty area, but short this time to Anderson. And again, Keeley is offering support almost as a fourth central defender midway inside his own half. It's a bit of a risk, isn't it?
It really is, and
But here's a high ball forward from Naismith, looking for Wells at the other end, but it just arcs beyond him and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's a good combination from those two. We've seen it in the first half as well. Naismith trying that left foot in swinger towards Naki Wells, just got ahead of him. But yeah, I agree. Before we see that chance, Josh Keeley's he's playing like a 5th or 6th defender really in terms of for Luton. He's so far outside his box, and if you're a midfielder forward for AFC Wimbledon, you just think, if I can just win it back unexpectedly on the counter-attack, just don't even have to look up, have a go.
Of course, Naismith and Wells both with Bristol City for a decent spell, as Walters plays it forward now for Luton on the far side. Clark tries to flick the ball on, but it doesn't break for him second time around. And here is Hippolyte now for Wimbledon, but the ball wide to Asiimwe on this near side was just behind him. But now Ogundere will play it forward, but straight to Naismith, who rides the challenge of Stevens. And here is Walsh now for Luton once again. 11 minutes into the second half on Talksport 2. 0-0 in the opening EFL game of the season. As Ali just has a tug on his shirt from Asiimwe, but plays it back in field to Anderson. And now Makoso again with the ball forward, just clips off the head of Johnson and all the way through towards Nathan Bishop, who is having maybe a far easier evening than maybe he will have anticipated.
Yeah, he certainly is. And it has to be said, Nigel, I think as much as I've been impressed with AFC Wimbledon, it's more about them stifling Luton than actually the quality that they've showed in front of goal. They've had nothing. They've had no shots. They haven't tested Josh Keeley whatsoever. So although I've been impressed, I've been more impressed with the fact they've been able to stop Luton playing more than they've been able to play themselves. So we've got just over half an hour left of this match. They want to try and change that, and if they're going to go for a winner, they need to change the game plan a little bit.
Ali now does well to win it on this near side. Good work from Saville. Ali with an opportunity to fire in the cross, but it's into the side netting. Wells is making that run towards the near post, but the cross never found it.
No, I don't think it was a cross. It was good play, Melenik Ali. He's so positive when he gets the ball and direct. This time he was allowed to run at Ogundere. I think he shot, I really do, from a ridiculous angle, right on the wing. May be wrong, he may have just got his cross wrong, but just his reaction seemed like he hit it at the near post.
Of course, the EFL season underway tonight, also getting underway this evening and across the weekend is the FA Cup for this season. 747 clubs have entered into this season's competition. 7 games tonight in the extra preliminary round. Pickering Town scored the first goal. They're from North Yorkshire. They took the lead against Penrith. Long trip from Cumbria for them. There are 210 games tomorrow and 5 more on Sunday. So I'm sure someone listening somewhere has a team playing in the FA Cup this weekend. For players like yourself, it never got underway until January.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Used to love the FA Cup as well. It's not as prestigious anymore, but I really did. I loved it growing up.
Of course, Crystal Palace, one of Darren's former clubs, the holders after they certainly loved it in May, is an opportunity now on the edge of the penalty area for Wimbledon, but Ali Smith was just closed down, does well to win it back. There was an accidental handball, then he manages to hold off the challenge of Walsh, and the ball is swept in from Seddon from the left-hand side, headed away by Anderson. Clark will gather on the far side. Seddon tries to put him under pressure, but it's played away, and here is Ali. Ali got back towards Naismith. Naismith with the early ball forward. It was the right sort of idea to release Longvik down the left-hand side, but it was overhit.
Oh, it was a lovely idea, Naismith. He's got a lovely left foot, and he tried a little grass cut outside of his boot to release Long, but just put a bit too much on it. Allowed Bishop to come out and take control of that, but it was a real good idea. If he got that right, it'd have been a fantastic pass.
Ryan Johnson plays another long ball forward again. Ryan Johnson playing only his second League One game in his career. And the first one was in May of 2014 for Stevenage. And Johnny Jackson is just sat on his bench. We can see beneath us, deep in conversation, and it does look as though there will be at least one changing coming, and it could be a debut for Antoine Hackford, the player on loan from Sheffield United.
And there we go, there's what his thoughts are. He thinks he can get a winner out of this game, and rightly so, because they've offered nothing going forward, so they need to change that. They need to get some talent, attacking talent on the pitch, and Danilo Orsi probably waiting in the wings as well.
Well, he only signed yesterday, so he won't have had too much time on the training ground. Hackford arrived earlier this week, along with Asiimwe, who's done well so far. Wimbledon lost both of their wing-backs, but Asiimwe and Seddon are good players to bring in. And, of course, Seddon knows the football club very well, and he wins it back from Walters there on the far side. But Walters was tenacious in the challenge, but then he runs into Smith, and it will be a throw-in for Luton on the far side. And again, it's a case of the Luton players trying to lift the supporters here, and Smith wins it back from Clark for Wimbledon. Seddon now with an early ball forward. Hippolyte, I think, knows he's offside, so doesn't challenge for it, and it drifts out of play on the far side for a throw-in. Well, no sign of any changes yet for Luton Town. Wimbledon have plenty of action on the bench at the moment, and it could be a double changing coming by the looks of it. Now Naismith slid down the line, left-hand side, just beneath us, but Ogundere gets there before Wells. But here is Walsh from his clearance, finding Saville. Nice turn from him, deep into the penalty area, drives in the shot, blocked by Ogundere, and Lewis will hook the ball away. But now Naismith will keep the ball in play. Back to Walsh. He's challenged by Stevens, but Walsh always has good awareness, slides it in towards Saville. On the stretch, he jabs it back to Masoko. And now Walters coming forward down the right-hand side. A good smothering challenge, though, comes in. And it will be a corner kick for Luton Town. And they were just beginning to show one or two green shoots of recovery then.
Yes, absolutely. A little bit more intent in terms of going forward, in terms of attacking with purpose, it seems. Winning a corner once again. I'd say Walters down the right-hand side, along with Jordan Clark. Probably been the pick. Liam Walsh in the middle has been really good as well. As you said, great awareness.
62 minutes played. 0-0 here at Kenilworth Road on Talksport 2 in the first EFL game of the season. And we've got so much more to come this weekend and throughout the campaign. Saville swings in the corner, headed away by Johnson. Another commanding header. Walters, though, fires it back in. Brilliant save by Bishop. Well, we've had to wait a long time for action like that, but Walters really caught hold of that 25 yards out, and Bishop, who must have seen it late, made an outstanding stop down to his left.
Yeah, I was just saying, Walters probably one of the standout players for Luton this evening, if there are many, but this time takes it on his chest as it come out from the corner. Hit a lovely, sweet volley with his right foot, was bending away from Bishop, and he just managed to get it. Not just get it, he kept hold of it as well.
The first save that either goalkeeper has had to make. 63 minutes gone, and Luton Town will try and build on that. Walsh now on this near side, wide to Longvike, quickly slid forward to Ali, but it's covered well by Ogundere, and the youngsters had another really good game as well. That back three for Wimbledon were a real feature of how they played for much of the season, of course. Sam Hutchinson was part of that as well. We heard from him at half-time, and we wish him well this season as well. A player who came back from retirement in the early years of his career at Chelsea, and of course heart surgery at the end of last season, as Lewis will allow the ball to drift out of play on this near side, and it's recovered by Corley Woodrow, and it will be a throw-in which will be taken by Ogundere. The change is imminent for AFC Wimbledon as Wells on this near side, finding Longvike, slid infield to Saville, neat and tidy as always. Ali, though, losing out to Ogundere, and he manages to hammer the ball away, but Luton will have the throw-in, and they look to quicken up the pace here. Naismith was demanding it from Longvike, but it's into the chest of Wells, but Longvike's ball forward is then hammered away by Reeves up towards the halfway line. And here is Naismith for Luton. 65 minutes played, 0-0. As Clark plays a good ball down the line, right-hand side. Walters is quick, but the low ball into the penalty area doesn't find Wells. Swept away by Lewis, and it will be a throw-in for Luton.
Yeah, he is quick. Walters managed to get there. I thought it was going out of play. I thought Jordan Clark had overhit the pass. He managed to get there, but as he crossed it, he's hit the advertising ball. It looked like he was limping a little bit as he came out.
And the cross into the penalty area was hurried on the far side from Walters, and it spins into the arms of Bishop at the near post. Bishop now clears long downfield, right-footed, looking for Stevens, who's lost out to Anderson, but Reeves will gather for Wimbledon inside the centre circle. Asiimwe back towards Ogundere. His long ball forward is causing one or two problems there for Naismith, and here is Stevens. Asiimwe with the cross into the penalty area, took a deflection, nearly falls inside the box for Smith, and it's hammered away to safety for Luton on the far side, but Johnson will gather. Seddon tries to thread it down the line for Smith, and there was a strong challenge on the far side, I think from Walters, and it will be a throw-in for Wimbledon. And there is going to be a double change for Luton first, and it's Zach Nelson who will be coming on, along with Lamine Fane, the young Spaniard. George Saville makes way on his Luton debut, along with Nigel Longvike. So two youngsters coming on, Nelson, 20, and Lamine Fane at 21. And we'll see how they will slot in. I wonder if, in fact, they may go to a back four.
Yeah, it seems like that. It seems like Zach Nelson might be going up front alongside Lamine Fane. But we'll see as the game goes on.
It's clipped forward again by Lewis for Wimbledon. Nearly falls for Stevens on the far side, and it's guided behind, and it will be a corner kick for AFC Wimbledon, and their fans find their voices behind that goal away to our right, midway through the second half. 0-0 the scoreline here, and Reeves will take the corner kick. And it's the sort of game which is just made for Wimbledon to snatch this 1-0 now.
Yes, at a set piece as well. That's what they'll be saying. That's what Johnny Jackson would have been saying at half-time. If we get the opportunity, let's make the goalkeeper work. Get the delivery right. If you do that, attack the ball.
Well, they've got four players standing outside of the far post, including Johnson and Lewis. Asiimwe joining them now, along with Stevens. So Luton aren't quite sure who to mark here in the centre. Reeves swings it very deep towards the far post, exactly where those four players were stood, but then split across the penalty area, so as a result it's cleared away, but quickly won back. But in the end the whistle has gone, and we couldn't actually see what the referee has given on this near side. One or two Wimbledon players are having words with the assistant.
I think Joe Lewis, as he went to connect the ball, hit the corner flag, and the assistant referee there knocked him clean over into the stretcher, into the advertising boards at the back, and that's what he's stopped for.
Oh, so it was a drop ball, so Wimbledon will get the ball back here by the corner flag. And here is Hippolyte Ogundere. I think he was looking for Hippolyte to make that burst into the area, but in the end his low ball forward was blocked. But Wimbledon quickly regained possession. Johnson, a rather dangerous ball wide to the far side, and Seddon, but Wimbledon then had a player fouled midway inside the Luton Town half, and it will be a free kick for them, and this is a good spell for them.
Yeah, it's starting to get scrappy once again, but a good scrappy this time, particularly if you're AFC Wimbledon supporter and player, of course. And I think it was Seddon this time getting fouled, and it's another opportunity to get the ball into the box. Looking to play it quick, Reeves, but I don't think he will. I think just needs to get it in the box, set it up. The Bishop's saying that, and they're allowing some subs now.
AFC Wimbledon debut for Danilo Orsi, and he's coming on for Matty Stevens. Orsi signed from Burton yesterday, had a great season at Crawley 2 years ago, 25 goals. Really, that form came from nowhere considering his previous career. Helped them to promotion via the playoffs, moved on to Burton, but also scored a few goals on loan at MK Dons in League 2 last season as well, with his former manager from Crawley, Scott Lindsay. Free kick here. Hippolyte fires it high into the penalty area. Johnson was shaping for it, but guided away at the far post by Makoso, and now Ali will try and bring it forward, but Asiimwe wins it back on this near side, the Wimbledon right. Early cross into the area just beyond Orsi, looking to score with his first touch, and it will drift out of play on the far side for a throw-in to Luton Town with 20 minutes to play. Darren Ambrose, can you see a winning goal?
At the moment, not really, no. And if it's anyone, I think it'll be Luton. I really do. I know AFC Wimbledon are attacking, but we said this, I think what we say this, probably after 28, 29 minutes, this could end 0-0, because there's been absolutely nothing in terms of AFC Wimbledon in front of goal. saying that, they're just trying to get in. It's just long balls, long hopeful balls at the moment for Luton, and the defenders from AFC Wimbledon are just eating that up all day, and this time it was Bishop that just came out and controlled the situation.
Well, they look to have dropped Ali to a wing-back, or certainly when they're defending as well, with Nelson ahead of him, but now Ali has been involved and he's conceded a free kick for a challenge on Hippolyte, and it's another set piece here for Wimbledon to try and pump this ball into the penalty area.
That's exactly what they have to do. Reeves runs up. It looks like he's going to play it quickly, but he's too experienced and clever for that. He's allowing his big players to come up. Just need better delivery this time. The corner that was just taken wasn't very good at all. If you get the delivery right, you've got a chance.
And Jake Reeves, the captain, one of the veterans in this AFC Wimbledon team, he will take the free kick here. Once again, Ryan Johnson has led the players forward from the back. Reeves with the delivery, swirled very, very deep towards Johnson, and Keeley, the goalkeeper, was under pressure there from Johnson as he tried to bat the ball away, but in the end the whistle has gone for offside and it will be a free kick.
I think sometimes you just got to take Jake Reeves off the free kicks and corners at the moment. Sometimes your delivery's not right, and the last couple have not been great at all. There'll be other players out there with good delivery. Just take him off, relieve the pressure of him a little moment, because that's two that he's put right over the top of everyone. It's just been a waste for Wimbledon.
Busy weekend coming up, and we've got Cardiff against Peterborough coming up tomorrow, 12:30 from League One on Talksport 2. Game day live with Adrian Durham on Talksport. 3 o'clock here on 2, Bradford against Wickham. Then on Sunday it is Stockport against Bolton. That's a noon kickoff here on Talksport 2. And we've got 6 commentaries from the Championship coming up next weekend, including Birmingham against Ipswich to kick things off on Friday night. As Smith looks to break forward here for AFC Wimbledon, but is robbed by Walsh. And Walsh going square to find Naismith, and the early ball forward from him, seeking out Nelson, but Nelson was under pressure from Ogundere, and it was strongly hit as well, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, Nelson was never getting on the end of that. It was overhit by Naismith, but again, Ogundere just ushered the ball, ushered the player out, allowed Bishop just to come across, let it go out for a goal kick. Good defending, and again, it's been typical AFC Wimbledon compared to the same as last season. If they get a 1-0 winner today, it's exactly what happened for the majority of the season last year. You can't see them scoring, but you can't see them conceding either.
2 away games coming up for Luton following this. They go to Peterborough next week, followed by a trip to Bradford, of course one of the other newly promoted sides, as Wimbledon are caught offside midway inside the Luton half, and it will be a free kick. And we have 16 minutes to play here on Talksport 2, and it's still Luton Town 0, AFC Wimbledon 0. And this is just the sort of game which, if you're a Luton fan, will douse that pre-season optimism, but maybe that's not a bad thing in the long term. As Clark plays it forward, looking for Walters. His dummy doesn't come off though, and it's quickly played forward by Smith, looking for Orsi, who was trying to make that run in behind, but again it was overhit all the way through to Josh Keeley.
That was the exact one I was talking about, Nige. He won it back unexpectedly, and I looked, and Josh Keeley was 25, 30 yards outside his goal, but not once did Smith look up to even have a check. Look, it's difficult. If you get that wrong from the halfway line, you get a massive groan from the crowd, but if you don't try, you're never going to score that spectacular. If you look at him now, I know it's a goal kick, he's 20, 25 yards outside of his goal.
And this Wimbledon team ended pre-season with losses to Sutton, Millwall and Southend, but this has really been a return to normal service for them under Johnny Jackson so far tonight. Lewis with a high ball forward, Orsi in pursuit, but it's headed away by Naismith. Ali's header forward, then Lewis is there again to loop it over the top. Naismith is forced to head it wide on this near side. Ali will turn and hammer the ball down the line, but straight out of play under pressure from Asi Imwe. And it will be a throw-in for AFC Wimbledon inside the final 15 minutes here on Talksport 2. Luton Town 0, AFC Wimbledon 0. And after 2 seasons of very few wins, Luton Town at the moment are heading for a 0-0 draw on their return to League One, the division they raced through the last time they were here 6 years ago. Now Reeves hooks it forward for Wimbledon, and it's won back by Smith, who was goal side of Lamine Fane, and the Spaniard fouls him, and it will be a free kick for Wimbledon once again. And they've got a home game with Lincoln coming up next week before they make the trip to Reading. So on paper at least, it's a tough start for AFC Wimbledon, but they've done well so far here tonight. And they're about to make at least one more change beneath us, and it will be one of the other new strikers, Antoine Hackford, who'll be coming on. Signed from Sheffield United. He was on loan at Port Vale last season, helped them to promotion in League Two. Made his Premier League debut at 16 for the Blades. So he does have miles on the clock, even at the age of 21. And he'll be making his AFC Wimbledon debut here shortly. Alistair Smith is just receiving some treatment on this near side. Well, Johnny Jackson choosing not to make the change at the moment, with his side having a free kick, which Hippolyte will take. High towards the far side and volleyed over the top. It was an opportunity there for Joe Lewis coming around the back, but he couldn't keep the shot down.
Yeah, it was a good idea actually. Hippolyte with a lovely delivery to the back post. Probably the one person you wouldn't want at the back was Joe Lewis to hit a left foot volley towards the goal. Hit the scoreboard behind the goal.
12 minutes to play. Smith still waiting to come back onto the field of play here, but now Walsh has given the ball away to Hippolyte. Orsi is down the centre, but the pass just beyond him. And Makoso does well to play it back towards Keeley, and he hammers the ball downfield. Ogundere, though, does well to rise above Nelson, and the early ball forward again, but I think Orsi was coming back from an offside position, and it's claimed by the Luton goalkeeper.
Hippolyte just got that pass wrong. Danilo Orsi was in on goal, just overhitting. It's those moments that could have been the winning goal. It's those moments that you just want to get right. If you're in this division, you get an opportunity, you get that right, you've got a massive chance.
Now Makoso brings it forward on the far side, and he's done well to slip it down the right for Clark. Clark's high ball in. Nelson was looking for the big shot, and Lamine Fane with the effort, which was blocked well by Asi Imwe, and it spins away on the near side for a throw into Luton, taken quickly. Lamine Fane back towards Ali. Wimbledon wants offside, and the referee eventually sees the assistant on the far side give it.
That's so sloppy. Milenik Ali and Lamine Fane. It was obvious he was offside. He just needs to control it, Fane, and then allow him to get back onside. But he played it first time, and it was given. But it was a real opportunity. Jordan Clark got in behind. A good play from Kras Makoso. Found Lamine Fane in the box. Good defending again. Keep saying that, AFC Wimbledon, good defending, putting the bodies on the line.
Changes for both sides. Coming on is Shandon Baptiste for Liam Walsh in the Luton midfield. Corley Woodrow is also coming onto the field to support Naki Wells, and he replaces Jordan Clark. And Antoine Hackford has also come on, and he has replaced Josh Kelly for AFC Wimbledon. So Hackford and Orsi, who could turn out to be the long-term striking partnership, certainly this season for AFC Wimbledon, get their first opportunity here with 10 minutes to play. Still 0-0 here at Kenilworth Road on the opening night of the EFL season. A long ball played downfield by Bishop, who's made the game's one significant save to keep out Walters. Now Orsi flagged offside as he tries to guide a long ball into the path of Hackford on this near side.
They've got an opportunity now, haven't they, Hackford and Orsi? 10 minutes plus whatever's added on at the end of the game. see if they can get a winner. As we said, I still believe there's nothing in terms of shots on goal, maybe one slight chance for AFC Wimbledon. Other than that, there's a real opportunity for them to, not only for tonight, to stake a claim for the team going forward.
Hammered away by Johnson on the far side. Almost collides with the floodlight clinging onto the roof of the main stand, but it bounces away, and it will be a throw-in for Luton Town with 9 minutes to play on Talksport 2. And it's still 0-0. And it's not been the start to the season that Matt Bloomfield will have been looking for so far. Of course, he knows all about League One, both as a player and a manager. Chose to leave Wycombe Wanderers to try and keep Luton Town up last season. Ali on this near side. For Luton, he's got support from Woodrow. And Woodrow will allow Ali to make the run towards the byline. Asienwe makes the challenge. Doesn't win it first time of asking, but does second time around. But it will be a corner kick for Luton Town.
Yeah, he's done well, Melenikali. Played well tonight. Just a couple of decisions, getting it wrong. The final ball, final pass, final cross. He's always positive, always looking to attack his defender.
Zach Nelson will take the corner kick on this near side. And again, Wimbledon have drawn every single blue shirt back to defend this. It's low into the near post, and Orsi is there with a very precise clearance up to the halfway line, and Hackford is quick, and Hackford looks to win it back on this near side ahead of Ali, and he's been caught by Ali on the halfway line, and it will be a yellow card for Melenikali, and Hackford with a turn of pace there.
It was a good race, that. It was a real good race, but Hackford, yeah, the speed of him, where we just put the burners on, didn't he, and went for it. To be honest, if you're Luton, it's a good foul, Melenikali, because if he got in front, I think they were 2v1 there.
Free kick, which will be pumped forward by Joe Lewis here with 7 minutes to play on Talksport 2. Luton 0, Wimbledon 0. Lewis with the delivery, high to the far post. Orsi almost allows the ball to drop onto his head and can't control where it goes. It's straight out for a throw-in. Walters takes it quickly. It's helped on by Wells, but again, he's heavily outnumbered by AFC Wimbledon defenders, and they clear the ball away on the far side, and it will be a throw-in. And so far, Johnny Jackson's team have done a really good job here. It's not been particularly pretty, but it's very effective when you're stepping up to a higher division. Now Naismith. Again, he looks forward, and there is no room at all for Luton Town, so they have to go wide again. Walters. He's quickly challenged by Seddon, and Luton will have to do some defending here, because Orsi with a clever ball wide to Seddon on the left. Swung high back towards the edge of the penalty area. Naismith will head the ball away, and Alex steps in before Asienwe. And here is Woodrow, wide to the near side, the left, and Wells. Wells with the opportunity to clip it forward. Woodrow could be in here. Oh, it's an own goal! An own goal by Ryan Johnson. Under pressure from Corley Woodrow, and all Johnson could do was loop the header over his goalkeeper, Nathan Bishop. Nothing he could do, and Luton Town, in their first match after back-to-back relegations, may have won this game with a real stroke of luck. An own goal with 5 minutes to play, the first goal of the EFL season. It is Luton Town 1, AFC Wimbledon 0.
And that is so unlucky for Ryan Johnson, for AFC Wimbledon. And it's made by the run of Corley Woodrow. Naki Wells just drops deep to the left-hand side. Woodrow makes a looping run down the middle, and it's a lovely ball by Naki Wells. And he has to go for it, Ryan Johnson, he has to. Hasn't put a foot wrong all game, along with all the defenders from AFC Wimbledon. And he just doesn't get enough on it. And Bishop's probably standing 4 yards off his line. And it has to be said, this sums up the game today, Nige. There was never going to be a goal apart from something special or a mistake. And it turns out it's a mistake by Ryan Johnson, but made by Corley Woodrow and Naki Wells.
Well, all of a sudden, the Luton Town fans are celebrating. But I agree with you. The only way they were going to score was, I think, if Wimbledon scored for them, and that's what's happened. 4 minutes to play. Luton 1, AFC Wimbledon 0, and the first goal of the EFL season is an own goal from Ryan Johnson. And really, on his performance, he didn't deserve that.
He certainly didn't. It's gutting for Ryan Johnson. As I said, it was a lovely delivery from Naki Wells on the left-hand side to loop it over. If he didn't go for the header, Corley Woodrow was on the end of it. It's 10 yards out and he'd have tapped that in. So he had to do it. So unlucky. And you got to feel for him. You got to feel for AFC Wimbledon. But Luton Town, they kept plugging away. I thought this was going to 0-0. And it was a mistake. It was an own goal. It's a real sore one to take.
Baptiste now plays it wide to this near side. Here is Ali for Luton, looking to seal the deal here. Ali squared towards the edge of the penalty area, and it's shot just wide in the end by Baptiste, who strode through there with so much confidence, but curled it just wide left-footed.
I thought it was in. Baptiste. Menelik Ali again causing problems. He cuts inside from the left, finds him, Baptiste, and he hits a left-foot curling effort from 20 yards. And all the way it looked to be in, and it just went the wrong side of the post.
The Talksport Network, the place to follow the opening day of the EFL season tomorrow, the opening Saturday at least, with commentaries from Cardiff at 12:30, Bradford at 3 o'clock, and of course Game Day Live with Adrian Durham over on Talksport at 1:30, as another change is made for AFC Wimbledon as they chase this game, and it's another striker who has been thrown on. Aaron Sassu, 20 years of age, young Norwegian who comes on, and Mark McGuinness, who has suffered an illness this week, which is probably why he's not been starting. He will come on now for Luton Town to replace Rule Walters. And Walters, a Luton player who maybe can come off tonight and think, I've done okay.
Yeah, he's played really well, actually. As I said, probably the most attacking threat, along with Jordan Clark, I'd say, in the first and this second half. He can be pleased with his performance. Up and down the right. Looked to have taken a little knock as well as he come off. Seemed to be limping. Hopefully it's not too bad.
2 minutes to play. 1-0 to Luton. The Sports Bar Weekend are coming up on Talksport at 10 o'clock. You can have your say on this game, whether you're a Luton fan or an AFC Wimbledon fan or a fan of EFL football on the opening night of the season. With the Championship to come, of course, next weekend, and then the Premier League returns. And Talksport has every single angle covered. Over 500 games this season, including over 100 of them from the World Cup. And somehow we'll squeeze them all in. Wimbledon have a throw-in on this near side. It's in towards Hackford, who's gone beyond the challenge of Baptiste. Claims he was fouled, but nothing given, and it's a goal kick. As we tick towards the 90th minute here. Another full house here at Kenilworth Road, but the 1,300 or so AFC Wimbledon fans will be making the journey south. Disappointed. You can't make judgments on the opening day of the season, but do you think they've shown signs here that they could be competitive at this level?
I mean, they've shown signs that they can stop a competitive team playing, absolutely, but in terms of in front of goal, probably not. And it's similar to last season, isn't it, that they didn't score enough and they conceded very few, and it took an own goal for this to be the case. But it's not over just yet. We've still got a few minutes.
Ali losing out to Asi Imwe on this near side, but Ali then wins it back as we tick towards the end of 90 minutes. Nelson finding Baptiste. All eyes on the fourth official, Richard Ailey, very soon. Ali again. Back towards Naismith. Plays a ball square across the centre of the field, which was gathered by McGuinness. And eventually a long ball played forward is straight out of play. And there will be a minimum of 4 more minutes here. So still time for AFC Wimbledon to rescue something. But to do that, they would need a shot on target, which they've not managed so far. And Mick Harford watching on here tonight. We can see him on the monitor. Undoubtedly a Luton legend, and also a Wimbledon legend as well. You go back to the old Wimbledon. Of course, they beat Luton Town in an FA Cup semi-final back in 1988. And Luton and Wimbledon was a regular fixture at the highest level. David Pleat is also watching on here tonight as well. As Nelson brings it forward now for Luton on this near side. And Nelson was fouled by Ogundere. Just waited for him to make the contact and then went down, but it will be a free kick. And Luton have got through the opening minute of added time here. We've spoken about Wimbledon, but I think there's no doubt Luton need to shake off, whether it's rustiness or just build those relationships, don't they?
It's mentality. That's all it is, winning mentality. And this will help if they can see this out and get the win. It builds confidence. Couple of away games, as you said, coming up. If they can get a win or two out of that, that's when it changes. That's when the whole atmosphere of the whole club changes. They'll come back here for their own home game, and the atmosphere will be tremendous. It's all about winning by any means necessary. And today, if they see the last couple of minutes out, has to be said, probably didn't deserve it, but by any means necessary, and that's how you change the mentality.
Throw in for AFC Wimbledon on this near side. Ogundere will take it as they look to build down their right. It's flicked on by Orsi. Hackford, though, losing out to Naismith. And then Nelson does well to break things up for Wimbledon, but it's straight out of play. And it will be a throw-in for AFC Wimbledon on this near side. But they're running out of time here. In the 93rd minute on the opening night of the EFL season. And it looks like they'll be beaten by an own goal. But here is Ogundere. And now Asi Imwe finding Ogundere again, who has to be offside. And the flag is raised. And Wimbledon have offered so little going forward, even from set pieces. And I think that will be the disappointment for Johnny Jackson. They've had possibilities, but the delivery on almost every occasion has been poor.
Yeah, it has been. It's been overhit on the majority of them, and it's probably have earmarked set plays for a possible opportunity to win this game. They've just got them wrong. But there's enough to build on in terms of stopping a good team playing, stopping their momentum going forward. But they need to improve on their attack in front. And, you know, the substitutions coming on, Hackford, Orsi, Sasu, there's an opportunity for those players to try and get into the team and score some goals.
But there's a difference between League 2 and League 1, and when players like Corley Woodrow come off the bench, they've got that movement, that's what causes the problems, and that's what led to the goal.
Yeah, it certainly is. We earmarked that, didn't we, before the game had started, that it's all well and good conceding that few amount of goals in League 2, but it's a different level of opposition, different level of forwards. And Corley Woodrow, the movement, and Naki Wells, the pass, created the opportunity and the own goal.
Maybe one final chance here. Asi Imwe for Wimbledon comes in field, fires in the shot, left-footed, and Keeley makes the save. I think it was going wide, but it was a decent effort from Asi Imwe, and it will go down, I think, as Wimbledon's first shot on target in the 94th minute. But now time has expired, and it looks like Luton Town have ground their way to a victory here as the ball spins out of play on the far side, but we still play on. Seddon has a throw-in. It's left for Johnson. Johnson throws it long, and it's hammered away on the far side onto the roof of the stand. Barry Masoko, and Wimbledon will try and build, but the referee blows the full-time whistle, and the opening match of the EFL season has been won by Luton Town. After back-to-back relegations, they begin in League 1 with a victory thanks to a late own goal from Ryan Johnson. Wimbledon were not great, but it looked like they'd held on for a point for long spells. Luton Town, I think, will need to be better to really compete, but they'll be happy after back-to-back relegations to have a victory in the opening game by any means. Full-time, Luton Town 1, AFC Wimbledon 0.
Well, they got the 3 points, but they didn't look like title favourites at all, did they? And credit to AFC Wimbledon, who certainly didn't look like the favourites for relegation. Throughout that game, there was very little between the two teams. But there is a sense of relief, Darren Ambrose, here at Kenilworth Road, because 3 points is what this football club needed. The winning habit, the winning feeling is what this club needs if they are to bounce immediately back to the championship.
Yep, nail on the head, Hugh. Relief is the word that's going to be brandished around this stadium. brandished around this team, and it took, we were saying it could take something special or could take a mistake, and it wasn't really a mistake either. It was a lovely run by Cauley Woodrow. Naki Wells, good ball. Ryan Johnson had to go for it. It's gutting, it's sickening for him to score that, because if they'd have seen this out and got the 0-0, there'd have been a lot to build on. There still is a lot to build on. I was impressed with AFC Wimbledon, but more that they stopped Luton playing than they actually played themselves. Still a disappointing performance in terms of going forward for AFC Wimbledon, but an element of relief, as you said, for Luton to walk away with 3 points.
The AFC Wimbledon fans away to our right-hand side are all applauding with their hands above their heads. They are so proud of what their team has done here this evening, because remember, we are talking about parallel opposites, playoff winners from League Two. We know what the record is for teams going straight back down. On this evidence, AFC Wimbledon will be highly competitive, and as you mentioned, the only real lesson is that they need to offer more going forward, because AFC Wimbledon should not be leaving this ground without a point. They deserved at least a point out of today with everything they put into that game.
Yeah, they certainly did, and it shows. That's fantastic support from AFC Wimbledon. They're all there singing, applauding their players off, and they've just lost. But it shouldn't have been a defeat. It should have been a point, at least. I'd say a point, because they didn't really create any opportunities in front of goal. But yes, but the players that come on, Sasu, Hackford, Orsi, they've got an opportunity now. They could be heroes this season. If they can score 6, 7, 8, 9 goals between them, they'll stay in the division. Scoring is all they need, because defensively they are very, very solid.
The breaking news here tonight was Jerry Yates announced as the new Luton Town number 9, so they have an extra striker in their ranks. It was Cauley Woodrow, though, that came off the bench and made the difference, holding up the ball, letting it wide, and making an intelligent, well-timed run into the box that led to that own goal. But with respect, Matt Bloomfield has to create a better style of football going forward if they're to be automatically promoted from this league. He's been manager since mid-January. We're not seeing the evidence of an attacking style of play whatsoever.
Absolutely not. With the players he's got, of course. Melenik Ali, probably the pick of them in terms of going forward. I felt Walters played well, but as fullback, getting down the right-hand side. But it was only when Cauley Woodrow came on, offered that different dimension of play, made a deep run. Naki Wells was able to come and get on the ball. The quality of those two players, the experience of those two players created the goal. It was a great ball. Ryan Johnson had to go for it in the penalty area, and it ended up in his own goal, which was unfortunate for him, sickening for AFC Wimbledon. But they have to do more. And Jerry Yates got a great goal scoring record, knows these leagues. This is the opportunity for him to be a hero here and take Luton back to where they want to be.
The Luton players making their way around the ground, applauding these fans who haven't had this winning feeling too often in the last couple of seasons. They're going to savour this moment. Darren Ambrose, Nigel Adley, thank you very much indeed for your commentary. Hopefully that just whets the appetite ahead of a big weekend of EFL football in League 1 and League 2. 12:30 tomorrow, Cardiff against Peterborough, live and exclusive on Talksport 2. At 3 o'clock we'll have Bradford against Wycombe, both games in League 1. Over on Talksport from 1:30, it's Game Day Live with Adrian Durham, Mickey Gray and Sean Derry. All the goals as they go in, including Plymouth against Barnsley and Huddersfield against Leyton Orient. And our final commentary of the weekend, Sunday midday kickoff, great fixture, Stockport against Bolton. Talksport 2 exclusively. Remember, Sports Bar Weekend are about to get underway over on Talksport. Majestic alongside Jermaine Pennant. 03717 223344 if you want to join the conversation. Next here on Talksport 2, PJ Tour Golf from the Wyndham Open, but it's ended here at Kenilworth Road with a lesson for Luton Town. It's not exactly alarm bells, but there is clearly work to do. They need to stop the slide, and on this evidence, they've got a long way to go if they're to live up to top billing. The scoreline flatters the Hatters. It's finished Luton 1, AFC Wimbledon 0.